All right, what's going on? This is Defenders of Comics Live on YouTube, and we are going to talk about three things tonight. We're going to talk about the Suicide Squad trailer, Falcon and the Winter Soldier Episode 2, which was actually good, and Invincible
Yeah,
Episode 1. We're only going with Episode 1 for now.
right.
My name's Coach, and you are?
Ace, what's going on?
I'm pretty excited.
How
Actually,
about you?
how about them Cowboys?
There you go.
I was actually very excited about everything that we're going to talk about tonight. So,
Yeah, me too.
we're going to start right away with the Suicide Squad trailer. And
Yeah.
first impressions, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was great. It's got James Gunn, his style written all over it. It does feel very Guardians of the Galaxy, but I love Guardians,
Yeah,
and this is the property to do that with. So I'm excited. I loved seeing all the obscure, massively obscure characters. Um, and Harley was really cool in it.
Harley felt like Harley from the
Yeah.
original Suicide Squad. And thank God
Yes.
she wasn't from Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I know. She was still Harley-esque in Birds of Prey, but yeah, this was way better. So, overall impression, I'm very excited to see it. I, it'll be one that I won't just watch on HBO Max. I'm gonna try to go see this one in the theater.
Okay.
I mean,
I,
that's how much I want to see it.
I do want to break this down, but at the same time, we got to be careful that this trailer is only 3 minutes long. So hopefully we don't
Yeah.
spend 30 minutes talking about the trailer.
Well, right.
I mean, I
Yeah. Well,
could. I'm not gonna lie, I could.
yeah. We'll speed it up a little bit.
All right, so let's go ahead and get right into it. The first thing is going to be where they are on a mission, and it's to save Harley Quinn. And I didn't realize that until basically it came out, and Harley Quinn sitting there. And man, this is where I noticed that she is the Harley Quinn of old. And
Right.
what are you guys doing? And it was such a hilarious
I was
interaction
I
right
was
here.
dying. she's she's so touched. She's almost in tears. I can go back if you want me
It
to.
was perfect. I thought it was hilarious how that was.
Yeah. Yeah, that was so good.
Okay, I'm going to have a brain fart already, so forgive me. I'm old.
Yeah.
But who is the main guy? I know he's works for the military and stuff like that, but
Oh,
who's.
it's Rick Flag.
Okay, yep, that's right.
And here's my little fanboy coming out. I was like, oh, they put him in the yellow shirt. It's kind of his costume, for lack of a better
Okay.
costume. But he always had this yellow shirt in the old Suicide Squad comics, and he just looks much more comic accurate, which I appreciate.
There's two things straight from the beginning that I was actually happy about, but also very concerned about because I heard from the beginning that Will Smith was not going to be in this.
Yeah.
So what I was worried about being a fan was they were just going to replace him with the same character with a different actor. But I am thankful that they
Yeah.
didn't do that. Did you know
I'm
that going in?
super. I did. Yeah. I mean, at first, when they first announced Will was not coming back and Idris Elba was going to take over, I'd have to look for sure, but I'm pretty sure the initial reports were that he was gonna, be Deadshot. He was taking Will's spot, and then it was very shortly after they said no, 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 he's playing a different character, which I was very thankful for because this does leave the door open
Yeah.
for Will to come back as Deadshot in whatever capacity he could or would want to do.
I mean, Will
So
didn't leave on any bad terms, so
no,
it was just a scheduling conflict.
from everything I've read, there wasn't, oh, he doesn't want to come back or any of that. It was more like he legit just couldn't fit it in the same time that he had something going on when they wanted to film this. And they decided, well, we can't keep waiting. This movie's already, a couple years more than we wanted to do. So we've got to go. And so they went with Idris Elba.
And I like him as an actor too, so I think it will go
Yeah.
really
I
well.
think
And
that's how
man,
you say his name.
yeah. But if both of them are together ever in the future, that would be, in my opinion, amazing.
Yeah. I have my fingers crossed. And I think Will would definitely do it, that he'd come back as Deadshot. So I think there's, whether he could come back as an HBO Max miniseries and have him interact with some squad members. That I'm having my fingers crossed for that big time.
So we now go into basically jail, and they're getting some new guys. And one of them, I'm gonna draw a blank on his name, but he's Saturday Night Live guy. What do you think of him and the character that he's gonna end up being?
Which character? Because there's so many. Is
Oh,
he just walking?
yeah.
Yeah, that is Blackguard, I think. If it's what's his name from SNL, he's playing Blackguard, which is a bizarre, uber deep cut character.
It's oh, who is that? I'm drawing a blank. It's Pete Davidson, yeah, Blackguard.
Yeah, Pete Davidson. Yep, Blackguard.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm like a gigantic fan of Pete Davidson, and I don't see him in a superhero type of role. But at the same time, this isn't. This is such a different vibe, so I'm hoping it fits.
Okay, prediction. Prediction. There's that little walkthrough, and there's a guy in yellow and blue. And I forgot the actor who's playing that character. He's playing Javelin. And then there's Blackguard, and then Nathan Fillion is seen as oh gosh, in the comic books he's called Arm Fall Off Boy.
Arm fall off boy.
Yeah, but he's TDK or something. They changed it in the movie, and I wish I could remember. But that's Nathan Fillion. And then there's one or two other ones. And I'm telling you right now, those guys are not long for this movie. They're dead within probably 10 minutes of
So
showing
even
up.
like Pete Davidson's gonna be dead quick.
Oh, he's totally dead. Yeah, he's dead quick. Don't get attached to him.
And so Michael Roker, is he gonna be dead fast?
I think Michael Rooker. I think he's gonna be dead fast too. Yeah.
Really? I was thinking he
Yeah.
might stick around for a little
Out of
while.
those names, out of those characters, he has the best shot because him and James Gunn are like he's in
Yeah,
every James Gunn
right.
movie. But yeah, I'm telling you, the Suicide Squad, it's the thing. I mean, they only killed one character right off in the first one.
Because
That was
he tried
Slipknot.
to, yeah, he tried to escape.
Yeah, but these James Gunn is going to go all out because it's R-rated and the gore. A lot of those guys are going to meet a grisly end.
Okay.
I promise you.
I mean, I'm sort of for that actually.
Yeah, yeah. Don't get attached to those guys. Really, anyone other than maybe Harley Quinn's probably your only safe bet in this movie.
Okay, so you were talking right now. I'm on the picture of the flag in the background, and it's got the guy in the blue and yellow, and then there's a girl also with two swords, and she's orange.
Yeah, that's Mongol. She's an alien. Actually, this either the daughter. I think the daughter of Mongol and Superman villain.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Superman villain. She seems like, I mean, based on the comic, she's pretty tough. So it'll be interesting to see how she bites it.
So
I'm predicting all those are dead. Yeah.
Really? So
yeah.
Mongol is played by Maling Ning. Something.
Yeah.
Never heard of her. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the actress well at all. Yeah, they're gonna go out on a mission, and it's gonna go poorly, and they're dead.
That is funny because 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, 5 of them are on this scene that I'm talking about walking.
Yeah.
And Boomerang, you think, is he going to die fast?
I'm a little worried about Boomerang. Yeah.
Oh.
I think Jay or Jai, I forget how you say it. I think Captain Boomerang may not last that long in this particular movie. You're gonna think he's supposed to be safe because he's from the original. He's gonna be no. I think he bites it.
That would be actually good. That'd be cool. All right. So anything else that you want to bring up from this? I'm hoping James Gunn really brings it here. And as a DC fan, I already have a bad taste in my mouth from a former Marvel person coming over to DC to do something. I mean, Justice League was bad with Joss. So
yeah,
I'm hoping this is a whole
different
vibe. And it was planned from the beginning, too. So hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, James Gunn, they brought him in fresh from getting fired off Guardians and that whole fiasco. And so he had his creative juices flowing and wanted to, prove, hey, you made a mistake. And I think the quality will definitely be there for this.
Okay, so what did you think from right away, right after that scene is the scene where the shark just eats the dude.
Yeah, this is gonna be gruesome and hilarious at the same time.
Now King Shark has been there's a little confusion on which way this went. I'm saying that this is Sylvester Stallone, correct?
Yes,
But
that was kind
there
of the big reveal. Like,
okay,
oh,
but
that's
there was
Stallone.
talk about it was supposed to be maybe somebody else.
It is. It's another guy obviously doing Stallone's only doing the voice.
Right.
And you're right. It was supposed to be another guy that, yeah, he's going to do the voice. Well, I don't think that was ever really the plan. The plan was to surprise everyone with Stallone. So,
Are you worried at all? Like at all worried that this is going to maybe be too dumb with how that looked with him eating, you know, this isn't
I think
like this isn't like Killer Croc or anything like that. It's an actual freaking shark.
yeah, I think they're going to do it pretty well. I think they're going to make it, "Oh my gosh, that's hilarious, but that is disgusting."
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to go for. And he's going to be a real threat, but he's going to be, dumb like a shark.
he's very
So,
dumb. Hand.
yeah, hand. So, I think it could be a little cheesy, but I think it's going to work.
Can you explain now to me the next scene? Give me a little background on Polka Dot Man.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
Polka
is
Dot Man.
please tell me he's gonna die
I
because
think
he
I
even
think
wants to.
yeah, that's why he's not. I think he's going to be the one character you're like, "Well, this guy's not going to make it long." I think he's going to make it. I think he's going to end up being one of the main characters. Now, does he come out of the movie alive? I'd say that's still 50-50, but I don't think he's going to be one of the guys that bites it early. No.
Really? Okay. Did you like that scene where they're all around talking, and it looks like it's a college, area and
Yeah.
stuff like that? Did you
As
like that scene?
Oh yeah, that was cool. That's kind of in the comics too. They're all sitting around getting their report from Waller.
What I'm a little bit confused on, and it's later on, but Bloodsport, they were saying that he's supposed to be the leader. I guess I don't
Yeah.
remember any of that.
Well, he's brand new to this franchise, so somehow he's got
How
into
did
the
he
leader
just
role.
slip
Right.
right
I
in
think
there?
it'll just be one of those things where they explain time has passed. It looks like Rick and Harley have done a lot of teaming up, been on a lot of missions. It feels like you're going to go into it and Bloodsport has either been with them before and brought back, or he's just been with them a while and you just accept that he's been with them a while.
Do you know a lot of background on Bloodsport?
I got to tell you, man, these characters that James Gunn has pulled out are obscure.
But that's
And
right
some,
up your alley, right?
oh, it is, but Bloodsport, he has a handful of appearances as a Superman villain.
Really?
I'd say 5, 6 issues, maybe. I mean,
And he's making him a main character in the movie?
yeah, that's why I was like, Bloodsport. Wow, you are deep diving like crazy here. And he looks, I mean, other than him being black in the comics, he looks not, I mean, the costume is everything's different. Although he
Okay.
looks way cooler in the movie.
Yeah.
They have some pictures of him with a helmet. I'm like, ooh, that's sharp, man.
Yeah,
That
right at the
helmet on
beginning
is.
when he's coming down the wall and they're trying to save Harley, he's with the helmet, which is
Yeah,
pretty
if you,
cool.
if you zoom in, you can see it's like a skull looking thing. It's cool. It's a
Yes.
it's a cool look. So yeah, but I mean, Polka Dot Man, some weird '50s Batman villain. Um, Javelin actually had some history as a Green Lantern villain and was in the Suicide Squad comic a little bit. So
Okay.
he made some sense.
Speaking of the villain, who is the dude that they are basically interrogating that has all these things coming out of his head?
Oh, that's the Thinker. We saw a version of him on the Flash season 5, maybe.
The Thinker.
So
So it's
he was the big bad in the Flash TV show, and yeah, the Thinker. He's all right, got this super intelligence, and he used to just be an old guy that looked super smart. Now they've upgraded him, and he's got you know
Ollie.
electrons poking out of his head, and
I'm gonna
so
say this wrong, but it's Peter Capaldi. Capaldi.
Capaldi. Yeah,
Capaldi.
he was Doctor Who for a while.
Uh,
Yeah,
I can't stand
don't
that
knock
show.
Doctor Who.
I hate Doctor Who. I don't care who's listening. I can't stand Doctor Who, and
You just lost.
I just lost a viewer.
You've tried it. Yeah, he
I
just lost
tried it. I really tried it. I
Yeah.
just didn't like it, and I probably didn't give it
It's-
long enough. I just didn't like it.
I don't know, man. It's really cheesy at first, but then I don't know. I kept with it with the kids, and we all loved it after a while. It was incredible. And then now it sucks totally. It's unwatchable now,
But I love this interaction with going back and forth about, if you do this, you're dead. If you do this, you're dead. And then Harley comes in.
you have
And-
personalized license plates. You die.
If you try to sneeze without covering your mouth,
In your mouth.
You
You
die.
die.
and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, yeah, no, you don't die. But if you do think that's an open invitation to cough without covering your mouth, don't.
And she's
that's
serious. That's what I love about how she can play Harley Quinn. She's so good
Yeah,
at that.
she's so awesome. Love it.
I mean, don't you think? I mean, she's the A-list star that we're all.
Oh, yeah,
Without
without
a
question.
doubt.
Yeah, I mean, she's the A-list. Yeah. And Edris, and then
John
you know,
Cena,
Joel-
maybe.
John Cena, Joel Kinnaman are right there. So,
I'll get to John Cena later because I have a worry. I really have a worry on what he's gonna do, and I have more of a
Yeah.
worry on what he's going to do in his film, I guess is what I need to say.
yeah, I think I know what they're going for.
I'm worried. Okay, so technically we're here at this spot. So they're walking through the woods and they're asking what should they do, and John Cena is asking Bloodsport. Peacemaker is asking Bloodsport and saying, "You're the leader," and Bloodsport says,
Oh, what do you say? Eat a bag of dicks or something?
"You're gonna have to eat a bag of dicks." And then John Cena's like, "If this whole beach was full of dicks and I was told to eat it for freedom or whatever, I would be eating all the dicks on this island."
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's what I'm worried about with Peacemaker. I understand this is a very comical, gory, type of film, what they're going for, the Suicide Squad. But I worry that Peacemaker, the whole film is going to be that scene right there. And I don't want it to be.
I think he's gonna be dead. I think he's gonna be. Well, they said he's a douchey Captain America, and that's what he sounded like. Well, if I had to eat a bag of dicks for patriotism, I'd do it, or for freedom. So I think he's going to be very capable, and I think he's going to be very deadly. So he's not going to be like, as a comparison, there was a weird little trend of having your main heroes be bumbling idiots for a while, like the Lone Ranger reboot with Johnny Depp, where I was like, oh my gosh, he was a boob the whole movie. Or Seth Rogen as the Green Hornet. I'm like,
Yeah.
the dude never did anything. He was a freaking joke. It's not like he started out and then got better. No, he's a joke the whole movie. I don't think that's going to happen with Peacemaker. I think he's going to be very capable. He's just a douchebag.
Okay. And that's
And
what
they're
I'm
going to
worried
play it
about.
up for laughs.
I think that's what I'm worried about. It's going to go more towards the Green Hornet, and I don't want it to. Because I do think John Cena is he's not, Dwayne Johnson, but I do think he is a very good comedian, but also can play a good role at the same time as a serious role. So I hope it's just not flat out comedian the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be like some idiot who can't even fire a gun and he's just built. I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, in the comic books, they do kind of. I mean, he is a loony in the comics too. And there's not a lot of history of Peacemaker. He's out of the Charlton heroes they inherited. He's one of the least used out of all the heroes they got, because the other ones are big time, like Blue Beetle, the Question, and Captain Atom. Those guys have, hundreds of appearances, and Peacemaker's got just a handful. So
Well,
I think it'll be all right.
I want to hear from you all. Are you worried about Peacemaker and how comical it could be? I mean, I do think it could be a very good thing with John Cena, but I also worry that it's going to be stretched too far on the comedy side. So I want to see that in the comments if you all want to put something on that or not. The
Yeah,
next
let us
thing,
know.
the next thing I want to talk about, and I can go back to it and show a picture, but who was holding the pin or something at the neck of oh, why am I,
Mm.
you know who I'm talking about, the main, that will kill them all if they do something wrong.
Oh, Amanda Waller.
Yeah, yeah. Who was holding, are they just threatening her?
Yeah, I don't know. I need to capture
I
that
need to look. Let me see if I can find it here.
again.
It was right before the one part that I really want to talk about. Okay, somebody in an orange suit, but I can't really see their face.
Yeah, I don't know.
I gotta be careful because I don't want it to play.
Ooh, play 2 seconds.
I tell you, that's a really cool scene where you see him jumping. Like right now, I'm showing it where they're jumping, and Harley Quinn has like the
Oh
staff
yeah,
coming
staff. Yeah, and they're
down.
jumping off of the building.
I think
Yeah.
that looked cool.
Oh yeah.
Here, I'll try to play it 2 seconds with no sound. Okay, it might be, from what it looks like, it might be Bloodsport.
Could be. Probably is.
I just don't wonder what that whole thing was, and that has to be, in my opinion, at the beginning of it then.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, again, like I'm not sure whether he's been with the team for a while or they're just getting him out of jail and this, doing him. Hey, here's the conditions. Join up and get some freedom or nothing. Dead.
King Shark ripping apart that
Ooh.
dude. And they showed it in the trailer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a red band trailer, so it's a rated R trailer.
What did you think
But
of that? That was amazing.
yeah, somebody put in the comics, has anybody checked on that guy to make sure he's all right?
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. See, that's what I mean. Is like, yeah, he's gonna be dumb, and there's probably gonna be a lot of jokes with King Shark, but then he rips a guy in half. Like, oh, okay.
I'm going to show this. I have to show that.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
brutal.
it just freaking tears him apart. That was awesome.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more where that's coming from. So
Oh, so you think he's going to be, that's just basically going to be him?
yeah, I think he's gonna be just chomping and chewing and ripping and tearing up. He's a shark, man. He just wants to eat. I'm sure once he smells blood, he just loses it.
Who is it? I'm going to say it name Soul Sora.
Soul Sahara, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, she's new for the movie.
So, but if you remember when they were riding around in the bus or something, she was basically saying, "I'll save you all."
Yeah. So again, I don't know how she's gonna play in. It'll be interesting to see what her role is or what they are gonna have her do because yeah, she's unless she ends up being in the comic books, there was a character called Duchess, and she looks a lot like her, and she ended up being a female Fury from Apocalypse.
Really?
So what? And the female Furies are these super powered apocalyptic female warriors, and she ended up being one of those in disguise. She didn't know who she was anymore. But anyway, long story short, she was like Wonder Woman strong, and so maybe this is her in disguise. I don't know. We'll see.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about on what's this big old starfish?
Yeah, the kaiju is what the guy says in the trailer. Yeah, that's Starro. He's like one of the. In fact, if you look up, oh, is it Brave and Bold? I forgot the number where the Justice League first appeared ever, or ever first appearance. The first appearance they ever, or first villain they ever fought was Starro.
Really?
And so he's this gigantic starfish who has these little babies that he floats out, and they get stuck to your face, and you basically are like, pod people. Then he controls you fully, so he can take over a whole planet pretty quick.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, he's goofy because it's a
I
starfish,
mean,
but
it's
he's
the same with
also
the shark.
right. It's like, well, he's actually pretty serious and deadly. He's
Hmm.
just a starship or starfish. So that's that, man. And then there's a cool scene. I don't think we can pull it up real quick, but they were, I think it was Savant. Oh gosh, Yandu. Uh,
Okay.
they were showing that scene where he's getting recruited and he gets that uh device implanted in his neck,
Oh,
and
yep.
there's a quick scene of the doctor kind of behind him putting his gloves on, getting ready to
I
to
got
do it.
it.
And that's John Ostrander, who is the main writer creator of the Suicide Squad. So it was kind of a
Oh,
cool
it
nod.
is. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
got it up right now. Okay. That's
So
cool.
that was cool. But yeah, hey, I think that covers the trailer. But I'm excited. I'm pumped. I think it looks great. It was meeting all my expectations for sure.
Now, one last question before we move on. If this is done well, how is there a possibility that they could intertwine this with the other DC stuff like the Flash and Aquaman and Wonder Woman, all that's going on, or do they even try?
I'll tell you what I think we'll get our answer in the Flash movie,
Okay.
because that seems to be the big reset or explanation for how certain things maybe don't sync up and other things do.
Okay.
So I think that's going to be your big explanation of like, okay, well, you know, they're either going to tie this in directly with a certain number of movies, or it's going to be completely its own thing. So we're going to find that out, I feel.
Gotcha. All
And then
right.
don't get too attached to Peacemaker either. I mean, honestly, people are like, oh, well, Peacemaker's going to have a series. He's going to live. Who's to say his whole series isn't a prequel to this movie? So he could die.
Eating a
I
bag of
predict he
dicks.
does. I predict he dies in this movie, and the series is just the prequel.
All right, you all heard that. So basically, what's going to happen is if Ace is wrong on that, he's going to owe me
I'm not eating a bag of dicks. I'm
a
not gonna
hot
do
toy.
it.
I get
A
a hot
hot
toy.
toy? The hell, man! That'll ruin my summer vacation. A hot toy of what?
I just don't see. He's got to go out in an epic way if John Cena is going out in this movie.
Oh, it'll be if he dies in
Eating
this movie.
and if it's eating a bag of
it's
dicks, I will not watch it again.
no, they won't do that, but it'll be epic how he goes out. I really do think he's gonna die, and people are like, "What? How's this happening?" Well, go watch his series. You'll get more of him there.
All right. Well, that is it for the Suicide Squad trailer breakdown. And,
oh yeah, excited.
Yep. Now let's get started on Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 2. We are going right into finally introducing and having a little bit of a backstory of John Walker.
Yeah, man, this episode I thought went up, a notch big time. I liked the first episode I did. This one was like, woo, yeah.
I like this one
lots
way
of stuff
better.
happening.
I like this one way
lots
better.
of stuff happening. So, yeah, John Walker. We find it's not just we get the goofy shot of him at the end of the episode 1. Now we actually get to see him and get to know him, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I like him. He's. I think we just saw a little scratching of the surface of what he's going to be like as far as being a jerk, but I liked his introduction, and I'm just excited to see the character.
I always have a hard time. If I would have just heard his introduction and heard his background, I like him more than his attitude. Like,
yeah,
as a Captain America fan, the reason you like Captain America is because it's never about him. It's always about the other people and what can I do for you, and I'm here to serve you. Basically, I
Yeah.
will fall on that grenade for you. With
Right.
him, it's I will fall on that grenade, but I want everybody taking photos and videoing it so everybody in the world sees that I'm the one that fell on it.
Yeah, and that's John Walker, man. That's
Yeah.
what I like because it's like, hey, I mean, I can still remember that I was like so mad reading that comic as a kid, like, oh my gosh, I hate this guy. Why is he taking over as Captain America? I want Steve back. And yeah, because he was a big jerk.
Yeah. I am not a fan of the suit. I do know it's pretty close to what it actually is in the comics.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that the actor actually wanted one of Captain America's old suits. Did you hear that rumor?
I actually didn't hear that one. No.
It looked like it was the suit that he wanted was the one from Winter Soldier,
Oh,
but
I see.
I mean obviously that doesn't fit what U.S. Agent is, so they couldn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, there was already a toy leak of a US agent toy, and instead of it blue, it's black, which is what his costume eventually becomes. It's black, red, and white.
Yeah,
So
and I actually think that's pretty cool. I think
yeah,
that would look better than the blue. I think.
I can't wait to see it. I hope it actually is what's going to happen in the show and just not a toy variant. But
Did you like the interview?
oh, that started the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was all. I thought they did a good job of making it seem extra cheesy, like
Yeah.
like a daytime talk show host would, and ask all these softball questions. And oh, isn't yeah, I thought they nailed how dopey a lot of that stuff is.
I didn't like I did like that part of it because I
Mm-hmm.
mean the whole band and I'm at my old
Right.
football stadium where I was a
Right.
star, but
Yeah.
it was so product placement for Disney to do ABC, GMA,
Oh,
the whole thing, and I
that's
was
a good
like,
point.
oh, that's a little too far for me.
Yeah.
Be
But on
cheesy
the flip
without it.
side,
I guess they own it.
yeah, they should have just, yeah, it's like they own it. It's not like they're gonna do the Today Show. So, but yeah, you're right. It's like, okay, hey, nice way to, free advertising, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it is what it is on that.
You're right, right.
I also like this one because we finally see something we have not seen and we are all waiting for it is Bucky and Sam finally get back together.
Yeah, I think if I could say one complaint from the first episode was like, it seemed to, even if they were only together for a few minutes, they should have been meeting in episode one.
Yeah.
But okay, here they are finally, which it should have happened sooner. But yeah, that was great to see him finally, and I was glad though. It was like, boom, like, hey, what's up, blah 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 blah, and they were off on a mission. I was like, okay, that's good. Let's get the action going.
I mean, it was a reluctant mission because they were not. I think there were some good questions. Why did you give this up? What why did you?
Oh no, I think that was really good. Yeah, Bucky's mad. Like,
Yeah,
wait a minute, Steve gave you this.
because
He expected you to care for it and take over in whatever capacity with the shield. Whether that meant being the Falcon with the shield or whatever. But
and we get
and now you
deeper
gave it
in that.
away.
We get
Yeah,
deeper in that in the therapy session, so I don't want to go too far,
right,
but
right.
there is a bit of piece of me that, I mean, Bucky loved Steve, like
Yeah,
gigantically loved him, and I think deep down he knows why he picked Sam over Bucky to give the shield to, but he's like,
right.
damn it, my best friend picked
Yeah.
you, and you just hand it off.
Oh yeah, that's it exactly. That's
Yeah.
it exactly. I want to derail for just 2 seconds, and I hope we don't lose like 50,000 viewers.
Well,
But
maybe 100,000, but that's okay.
yeah, well, yeah, yeah. But I always get really irritated about how people wanted Steve and Bucky to hook up, like, and I'm not saying that we can't have gay characters, but that one bugs me that people, it's like you don't understand uh what that means. And I haven't ever been in war, but I have family members that have, and it's like, yeah, they love each other. They're brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, they may not be biological brothers, but all the crap they went through, they're best friends and they're brothers. So yeah, do they love each other? Yes. Does it have to be sexual?
Right.
No, that's ridiculous.
And
So
a
I
bigger,
always get super irritated by that.
they even started out before the war. I mean,
Yeah,
they grew up being best friends together.
right. We're best friends. We're basically family. We're
Yep.
brothers.
Yep.
So it's like when Steve does all that for Bucky, it's like, well, he's not just a friend. He's basically my brother.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I totally
anyway,
agree with you on that.
my little rant.
No, ran away on that one. Okay, let me get to. So he's showing, basically, Sam is showing what's going on with the Flag Smashers, and that's where they're about to head out. And at first, Sam did not want Bucky going with him, correct?
Right. Yeah. He's like, no, man, I got this. So there's definitely tension. There's a love hate with them
Yeah.
between each other.
And I don't know what it is about Sebastian Stan that he can just sit like at the therapy session or sitting on this plane and it can just sit and give you a look. And he doesn't even have to speak. But that is such an acting role that he's doing on just
Right.
the looks that he can give at any moment. And it's just,
Yeah,
he's so
he's
good.
really good. Yeah, he's got a lot of charisma, that guy. He's a good actor.
God, I hope he is Mark Hamill.
And the future Luke Skywalker, let's pray to God.
I do hope he is bad.
I do too, so much.
And then they're in the argument of Sam's going. He's jumping out of this plane. And Bucky's still going back and forth and not really going. And then all of a sudden Sam jumps out and Bucky, I don't know what he's doing. And my kids were wondering what he was doing. He just jumps out with no parachute or anything.
Yeah, he's like, I'm Bucky. I'm the Winter Soldier. I
can handle this.
Shoot.
It takes off
Steve never used to shoot. I'm doing this.
It
I'll just use my arm to grab a branch and flip around and land on my feet.
It was not graceful at all.
No, I thought that was a great follow up from Sam. Like, I got that all on film.
That was good. That was good. So, let's get to the battle, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
What do you think is the amount that they are spending on this? Because to me, we've already seen more action, maybe not effects, but we have seen more action.
Yeah.
That I was listening to Kevin Smith and the Fat Man and Beyond.
Oh, yeah.
And they were breaking it down on these scenes with these two 18-wheelers probably took a week to shoot.
Yeah.
And if it takes a week, then they're throwing out numbers about it's probably cost them this much to do this. I'm impressed that they're able to do this kind of action. And this is 2 in a row that we've seen.
Yeah, well, I mean, every series that we get from Marvel is going to have, like, the season 1 is going to have a big screen movie budget. So the way I understand it, this is like 150, 160 million dollars for the series to do. Okay. So that's your average amount of money to do a movie. So
have you
liked WandaVision? I think cost even more.
Really? Because of the effects?
Because of a lot of the effects, yeah. Even though they had a lot of those first 2 episodes were mostly in, sitcom style, but at the end, it did ramp up.
So what do you want to talk about on this scene on top of the 18-wheelers?
Well, hey, it was cool. Great action scene. I think Bucky thinks I'll take these guys pretty effortlessly. Didn't turn out that way. And Sam got taken off guard too. And we'd seen it in the trailer, but I still thought it was funny when he said, like a little girl kicked your ass.
Underneath the 18-wheeler. I thought that was awesome.
So,
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
Sam wasn't able to do a whole lot at all against him either, and he's sitting there talking trash to Bucky about you just got beat up by a girl. Your little
Yeah.
Red Wing or whatever just got crushed by
Yeah.
that same girl,
Yeah.
and all you're doing is
Well,
flying around and shooting stuff and trying to stay away.
of course, he knows Bucky's got enhanced strength. So it's like, okay, man, what happened to you? But anyway, they're kind of in trouble. I was like, I don't know, they're getting spanked.
Yeah.
And then in comes John Walker,
Dun,
the
dun,
new
dun.
Captain America. He's not U.S. agent yet. If they ever even end up calling him that by the end,
Do you think they will?
he's Captain America. I'm not sure they will by the end of this series. I think it will happen.
So you think something's already going to happen with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that there's going to be a season 2?
Yeah, I do. Or it's just into another series like, the Thunderbolts, which we can get into what that is some other time. But if I had to hazard a guess, John Walker's story is going to continue in another Disney Plus series, while Sam will more than likely get a film after
Okay.
this.
And Bucky a
But
part of that film?
I'd say so. Or Bucky's a part of. He could be a part of what John Walker's got going on. So
Was he?
not ever together, but they were both a part of the Thunderbolts at one time. So
Okay, so we're also introduced finally to the other guy that is always with John Walker.
yeah. It's gosh, I wish I would have. I just thought of this to pull up the cover from the old Captain America where he officially took over as Captain America, and on the cover is John Walker as Captain America, and oh, what's his name, Haskins or Hopkins, as Bucky. And so there they are, Captain America and the new Bucky, and they're together. But after a while, I think the issue was like they brought it up in the comments, like, dude, you can't call yourself Bucky. You're a black man, and it's a bit of a racial slur. Oh, really? So he changed it to Battlestar. So boom, they obviously weren't going to call him Bucky.
So give us a little background of Battlestar.
Well, Battlestar is he doesn't have a lot of history in the comics. He was I'll try to make this super quick. Before John Walker became Captain America, he was called the Super Patriot, and he had actually pretty awesome costume. And he had three other guys that were his partners. They all served together in the Army or the Marines, and so they were all part of the Super Patriot persona, out looking for clicks, video, fame, whatever, based on his character. Well, all this stuff happened, went down. He got offered Captain America, and they said you can only pick one person to be Bucky. The other two guys got to go, so you got to pick one. So he picked. Gosh, I wish I don't know if his name's Lamar or something, but he picked him, and so he became his partner, and then he became Battlestar, and he eventually got his own shield too. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a pretty cool costume, minus the collar, but yeah. So Battlestar is cool to see him. I was glad they included him because they were a pretty tight unit there for a while.
And I mean, we all know what Sam is. We know that Bucky has super strength, just like a super soldier. But and we know what John Walker has. What does Battlestar have?
Well, now in this series, okay, well, in the comic, they both are enhanced, and we can get into this by the one word mentioned in the series, by the Power Broker.
Okay.
And so for a while in the comics, the Power Broker was handing out super strength like it was candy. Some people died from it, and others, made it. And John and Battlestar were two guys that made it. And so they've both got super soldier strength. But that doesn't look like they have it yet in the show.
Okay.
Unless he's hiding it purposely. But we'll find that out. But right now, I don't think they have it.
So one thing when they found out for sure after meeting these people on the 218-wheelers is that there's a lot more people like Bucky than what they thought.
Right. I think, at least Sam is like, how the hell did this happen? Sounds like, John Walker and he's like, what's going on? How are these guys super strong? What's the deal? While Bucky is like,
Yeah.
might know a little something about this.
Yeah. And so that he knows something about it, that's a problem. And do you want to go? Do you want to keep going to where that's going to go lead to?
Well, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead because I think that goes right into it. So, Bucky says, not quite was Steve the only.
Wait, before we go there, I thought it was very comical that John Walker was wanting to pick them up, stop on the truck. They were walking to the airport,
Yeah.
and it was like, nope, don't need you to go, pick me up. And then they finally got in the vehicle, and then they get going down the road a little bit, and John Walker saying that we need to team up and blah, 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 and is
Right.
pretty arrogant. And
Oh,
Bucky's like,
yeah.
nope, stop the car. I'm out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm not hanging out with you. You're not telling me what to do, man. I'm out.
I thought that was great.
Yeah. It was a good scene. Yeah.
And it should be that way because there's going to be a lot of friction between them.
Oh, absolutely. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, I can't remember where we are yeah, this comes after, but there's a little scene and we'll get to it where they see John one more time and he's like, okay, now the jerk is really starting to come out.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So now, finally, Bucky and Sam are talking, and Sam's like, I got to show you something.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even sound like Steve knew anything about this either. By how Bucky was talking. So they're in Maryland, correct? Is it Maryland that they were in? It wasn't Washington, D.C. I think it was just Maryland.
No, it's Maryland, yeah.
And they're knocking on somebody's door. It says no trespassing, and then some, younger person answers the door. And they were like,
he's going to be important too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's Eli.
Let me get a good shot of him there. But so Eli answers the door, and he was like, nope, he doesn't take anybody, doesn't come in. And what did Bucky say? Something about a bar, correct?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we'd have to replay the scene. But he says, basically, hey, I was here or when. He'll know what that means.
Yeah. And so they're coming in, and Sam still doesn't really know what's going on because Bucky still hasn't told him anything.
Yeah.
But we finally get introduced to a man named Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley.
Very important character. And are you happy that they're doing it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you want to have Eli and you want to have the Young Avengers, which they're building through WandaVision and then through Ant-Man 3 and Scott's daughter. So, yeah, I think that's great that they're going with this storyline. It does flesh out this whole series. I think it's going to tie in nicely. So,
and see, I'm going to be the stupid basic fan. I didn't even really put two and two together with Eli. I was focused on Isaiah Bradley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like, oh, yeah, there's his grandson, Eli, who becomes Patriot in the Young Avengers. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool that they're showing that. I don't know how it's going to happen or if it's even going to happen in this series for Eli, but I sure as heck hope. I'm really hoping we get a flashback scene with Isaiah and the whole Captain America thing for him because, okay, as we see here, I don't know if we're ready for that yet, but, we find out that he's enhanced. He's a super soldier.
Right. He throws basically a box through the wall when he gets angry. Yeah. And I think it would be a really cool series if they would do it. And I don't know if they do a full-fledged series or an animated series, but Captain America Truth, I think would be a really cool one that they could do.
I wonder, yeah, if they will. At the very least, it'll be a tragedy if they don't give us a flashback scene. I mean, we at least got that with Ant-Man and Hank Pym and all that. I'm hoping they do the same here so we can, maybe see him taking on Bucky as the Winter Soldier. It's basically what they were indicating, that, hey, he was sent in to handle the Winter Soldier, and sounds like he did. He was, well, I kicked your ass.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
but
Now,
yeah, in the comic, they actually were experimenting with super soldier serum. Well, on other soldiers.
There's confusion and I thought it was this way. I thought in the comics they gave Isaiah Bradley the serum and others before they ever tried to give it to Steve.
That's correct.
So people were saying it was the opposite way, that after they figured out what happened to Steve, they were trying to give it to a whole bunch of other people and it just wasn't working. But that's what I thought it was, is that they gave it to people first before Steve and then gave it to him.
Right. I mean, it's possible. I've missed some books too, and I did read Truth, and I won't get too far off the rabbit hole in that. The only reason I didn't love it the art was atrocious. I'm sorry if fans out there liked it, but I just remember reading it going, oh my gosh, why is this art so garbage? Oh,
That's
and
a
I don't
shame
even know who drew it.
I think Sam Bradley, some of the artwork that I've seen on the interweb and stuff like that looks really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's
Isaiah
way
Bradley,
better than
sorry.
Isaiah, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I hope we get some kind of a flashback with him and get to see him in action. But you're right, the way I remember it was, hey, the gist of the story was like they used the black men to test it on.
Yeah.
And then when they perfected it to where they thought it was safe, then they rolled it out, tried it on Steve, and then the formula was lost. And, then there was no more super soldiers. But a lot of guys took the shot, didn't make it, like died.
Wow.
And really, Isaiah's wasn't perfect either because he's not right.
He started losing some mind and stuff, correct?
Right. In the comics, he's definitely gets dementia and it just doesn't function too well. So it may have worked for him initially, but it wasn't quite perfected yet. And so he's had problems.
What else was I going to say? So basically what I'm hearing from you from here going forward, do you think Elijah is going to be the bigger MCU character than Isaiah Bradley will be?
Oh yeah. Isaiah's just going to, he's an older guy. He's going to be more plot device used to advance Eli's story.
Okay.
Into however that rolls out.
Okay. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, when they go out of the house, Sam is pissed. Basically, why weren't we ever told this before?
Right.
So why do you think Bucky kept this from them? Even Steve.
I think it was more just like he's hardly had any time to really even get himself together, let alone start spilling every secret that, is out there. And, basically like from episode 1, he's like, hey, I went from basically getting my mind right to going to Wakanda to try to get straightened out after Civil War to boom, Thanos strikes. I get blipped. And now I'm back, I went from bang, 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 bang. I'm just trying to get some things settled here. Yeah. So,
What did you think about the next scene? I don't want to go too far into it, and I don't want to get too politically here, but I understood the next scene where the cop comes up.
Sure.
But at the same time, I know it has to do with Black Lives Matter, and I can respect that fully, but they were just out in the street, they weren't even yelling or pushing or anything. It was just a conversation that they were having loudly and passionately.
Yeah.
I think that was a little far, but maybe I'm just really naive.
I mean, maybe it does happen like that, but it was just more of like, oh, you really had to throw that in, and some people want it in there. It instantly kind of takes you out of the show, though.
Yeah, because it was in a different vibe, and then it went way a different direction.
Right. I mean, it's instantly like, oh, okay, whether you agree with it or not, here's a political message. We had you all engaged in a fictional story, and oh wait, we're dragging you out of that because we want to have a political message again, whether you agree with it or don't agree with it. That's what happens.
And then they
And
finally
so,
twisted it to where at the end, Bucky's the
right,
one getting arrested.
Bucky's the one that gets arrested. So, uh, so there you go.
And I guess that does happen if he doesn't meet with his. I guess, is that what happens? They send out a arrest warrant
Oh
for him?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's yeah. If he, especially for him, he's after all he's done, and he's probably, hey, you're a free man, but if you don't stick with this, you won't be free. You gotta meet your meetings. So yeah, that's all
Now, how does
possible.
John Walker already have this pull that he basically gets Bucky out of jail and then
Well,
they have to
he's
meet with the counselor?
well. Let's be honest. He is the new golden boy. He is the guy. He is the government worker. He is the Captain America that works directly for the government. So he's a, hey man, I'm pulling some strings here.
But again, that's where I think, as every fan, that's where I'm already not liking him compared to Steve Rogers.
Well, you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to like this guy. That is that, and it was as a kid. I don't think I got it either. Like, well, this guy's a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, that was the point because the point was in the comic books. And see, they're just flipping Steve for Sam in this. Is like, hey, Steve's still going to be around. He will reclaim the shield and the Captain America mantle and show John, like, this is not how you be Captain America. I will show you how to be Captain America, and he did. He spanked him and got his shield back. But then, in the middle of it, it's like John becomes almost a flat out villain, and then he kind of pulls back and is still a hero, but more of a jerk hero.
Yeah.
They're just going to use Sam in that role this time.
And this
So
guy's playing the role very well. I mean, because I don't like him. And
yeah,
just like right here, I got the photo up of where they were like, well, who got him out of jail? And he was like, me.
yeah, this guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this guy
I
right
love
here.
it, man. I love it because it's like, yeah, he's a jerk, man. Yes, he is the jerk Captain America, and I think you're going to see him. He's going to be violent, and he's going to.
I'd like to
I think
see
we
that
talked
part
about this.
because that's all I haven't read as much of that as what you've had, but that's all I read is how violent he is and actually stronger that he is than Steve Rogers.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the comic, they won't get into this here because it's too much of his story. But he's Captain America, been Captain America for a little bit. He has this group called the Watchdogs, who are a violent extremist group. They find out who he is. They capture his parents, and they kill him. And so when he finds them, he kills them all. I mean,
Wow.
he obliterates them all, and then the government has to scramble to cover it up. And I think you'll see that here is that he takes some criminals down and goes too far, and Sam and Bucky get wind of it or see it or whatever. Like, man, you have no right to have that shield. So
That'd be wow.
I will say this about the, Wyatt Russell, though. I don't know if you've seen it, but man, there was a couple scenes. I need to go back and watch the episode and freeze the frame. It's like, holy crap. It's a young Kurt Russell. It's like, oh, wow. He looks like his dad there big time.
Yeah, the scene that he was just in the police station that I was talking about, he looked like that for sure, right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, man.
And
Yeah.
not
It's like,
not at the first episode that we see him at.
no, he doesn't there. But in the side in his profile, I'm like, holy crap, that's Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I agree totally. So now we
And let me
go.
say, I will say this one moment too is like, I don't know if you saw this today, but it's like Wyatt Russell, who's a freaking son of Kurt Russell, is getting death threats because of his portrayal as John Walker. John Walker.
Why?
I just want to say or rant. It's like if you are out there and if you are sending an actor death threats because he's playing a fictional character who is supposed to not be a good guy in the end, it's like, what is wrong with you? And he had to leave Twitter. It's
Really?
ridiculous. I'm like, this is not real life, people. This is a show and a comic.
And
I might get passionate.
he's
Yeah,
doing
he's
a
doing a great job.
fabulous job at it because it's
That's what makes
working
it.
for me. I mean, I'm not liking him.
It's like, guys, do a little research. This is how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to like him. I
Wow.
mean, separate yourself from, get with reality. Oh my gosh,
That's
ridiculous.
scary.
It is. That's where we're living.
So now, the world needs this, so I'll segue to this now. The world needs therapy. And therapy starts with couple therapy between Sam and Bucky.
This is a good scene.
It is a good scene.
Yeah.
And it was a needed scene. And it was comedy in the scene and serious in the scene. And man,
Right.
These two actors did such a good job of doing that, in my opinion.
Right. What I love about this show so far is, we didn't see it in the first episode, but the second episode is that buddy cop banter. The Lethal Weapon, the Tango and Cash, the 48 Hours, those two guys that don't really like each other, but they have to work together. It's such an 80s cliche kind of thing, but man, they're pulling it off. I love it.
Kevin Smith and them on Fat Man and Beyond have used Lethal Weapon a lot
Is that
about
right?
this series.
Yeah,
And
it's great.
They're almost saying it's going to almost the exact same outline as what Lethal Weapon used.
Well, it works, man.
It
like
is working
Love
well. And
Yeah.
if you didn't have these two actors doing it, I don't know if it would work as well because they're doing it very well.
Yeah, they're doing a
And
great
they're
job.
both funny. They're both serious, passionate, and it's good. And they both love Steve. And I almost feel like they didn't get to this in this therapy session, but you almost feel like Bucky is also upset that him and Steve were so close, and how could he give the shield to Sam? But also at the same time, in his mind, he understands that he didn't get it, but is he mad? I mean,
well, and then at the end, he says it. He finally gets truth, and then they just kind of stop talking. But like, look, Steve trusted you. He gave you the shield. He thought you were man enough to have it. And it turns out he was wrong. If he's wrong about you, then he might be wrong about me. Doing all he did for me. As like, well, Steve did all that for me, then I am worth something. Well, if he's wrong about you, Sam, then he's wrong about me, and maybe I'm no good.
That was pretty deep.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, that's where it is. That's where it is. So
I like that actually. That was a really good scene.
Yeah, it was great.
And I like the therapist. I think she's fantastic in this.
She's doing a great job, yeah.
So that's great right there. Do you think they're gonna have more therapy scenes, or do you think this is gonna be about it?
If they do I can see them doing the Lethal Weapon model where they come back at the show's over basically, and you're like, kind of your final scene, like, hey, we got to finish up therapy, and you have a little funny scene with him finishing up therapy in some kind of funny, jokey way. Yeah. But I think that'll be it.
So you don't like this is episode 2. We only got 4 more. So maybe on the last episode, you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have any more therapy. We got a lot of other ground.
We got so much other stuff to go.
Yeah.
In 4, that's it. 4 episodes. Now they released today that it was the next one's over 50 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like 56 minutes. So you're talking a good 50 minutes of solid show. So with credits. So that's pretty good.
But at the same time, the credits at the end doesn't seem as long to me as what WandaVision credits did.
Yeah, WandaVisions were like 20 minutes, felt like. So, but hey, there was a scene. Are we ready? I don't know if you have it, where they get out, they're released, and they have one more interaction with Walker.
On there right now.
And so that's where you see him actually kind of pull the real jerk card, like, hey, you guys aren't gonna help, stay out of my way. So he's like, I invited you to help. Now you're not gonna. You get my way, I'm gonna take you down.
Yeah.
And that's why I can't decide, like, is he hiding that he's got super strength and he whips it out like, well, at the end of the day, you're just human. Bucky's like, I can take you. And he all of a sudden like, nope, he's as strong as me or stronger. Or does he get to the point where like, man, I got to be stronger if I'm going to be Cap, and he ends up getting the super soldier stuff. So I'll be interested to see how they play that out.
I almost feel like he already has it. How
I
they've
kind of
done
do
some
too.
things.
I kind of do too.
So I think he already has it. I was gonna say something. I can't remember which direction. It was about him, but now we got the Flag Smashers, and they're trying to get away on a plane.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. So we kind of get introduced to them last episode, and now we see that, in the comic books, it's been gender swapped. She's the female version of the Flag Smasher because she's actually the leader.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we've kind of been introduced as to what they want to do. We think they're freedom fighters in their mind, or want to go back to how life was before the blip. Blah 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 blah. So I think they're painting them as bad but not evil.
Okay.
And they might be slightly sympathetic, it sounds like. But now it looks like we've got someone else that's after them who's giving them their super strength. And they name drop the Power Broker. So that's the Power Broker's men. And he is the Power Broker. He's a shadowy guy that grants superhuman strength.
So the ones that are coming after them,
sometimes it
then
don't.
that he throws down the telephone pole in front of, that's the Power Brokers group.
Yeah, doesn't look like we actually see the Power Broker, but that's his men.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll hear more about the Power Broker, this Friday.
Here, I got it now, finally. Okay. So you think they're going to get bigger and bigger, and then the only thought, this is going to segue into what we're going to talk next, is Zemo, that we finally actually get to see him in this episode, which it didn't take forever, like WandaVision, to see the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But how is he going to get involved with all this?
Yeah, I am having trouble. Like, okay, is he going to sympathize with the Flag Smashers? I feel like he is. But it's like, okay, how's he going to escape? How's this going to work? Do they let him out? Are they going to recruit Zemo to help them? I don't know.
But
it's going to be real interesting.
I mean, at the beginning, what it is Bucky and Sam are going to go talk to Zemo.
Yeah.
So I'm so confused on how then right after that, then somebody's going to break him out of jail. I mean, or are they going to get him out to try to talk to him about some stuff? I don't know.
I mean, just based on how the episode ends, it's going to feel like somehow they're going to try to have him work with them.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, I have to say this. I have this number up here, and it's the jail cell of Zemo. And okay. I'm sure you've heard that where this matches up with Star Wars.
No, do tell.
Okay, so the jail cell is 2187.
Oh.
In Star Wars, the original,
right,
when Princess Leia is on the Death Star, her jail cell is 2187.
2187, yeah.
And then on another note of that, Finn, when he's introduced, he's a stormtrooper.
Right.
And it's Finn-2187.
2187, yeah.
What is the deal with that? There's got to be some deeper thing.
No,
just making us all mad, right?
I think they're just like,
here we are. I'm trying to find this.
It's a
Easter
cute
egg.
nod. It's just a cute nod. It's like, hey, hey guys, we're Star Wars fans too.
Well, just like cutting off everybody's hand, and was
Yeah.
it Phase 3 of the MCU or Phase 2 of the MCU where they
Oh yeah,
somebody
yeah.
got their hand cut off and that was supposed to be for Luke Skywalker?
Right, yeah. There's all kinds of parallels that they'll pull in.
I'm very interested on what they're gonna do with Zemo, and man, I hope he is actually the big bad that he can be in this.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because in my
Yeah, I
opinion,
want
he's
him.
over Flag Smashers. He's over Power Broker. He's got to be the guy.
Yeah, Zemo's the villain in this. So yeah, I kind of hope they pull him out. And he's gonna help him, and then boom, he betrays him big time. That's what I'm hoping.
Oh, so you're hoping Sam and them are able to pull him out for his help, and then he just
Yeah,
turns
I
about.
I just feel like that would be Zemo's style. Like he's gonna mess with you, and like, oh, by the way, I just put a sword in your back. You're welcome.
That'd
So
be
yeah, that's how I want to see it play out. But we'll see what they do. I'm excited for episode 3.
yeah. I am too. Episode 2, in my opinion, was way better than episode 1,
Yeah,
and that's just
yeah,
me.
yeah. Episode 1 was a little weak. It really was. I mean, after that amazing first Falcon flight scene was, oh my gosh, and then it was just kind of boring. But yeah, this episode was great. Plot was advanced, new characters introduced, great action, really strong episode.
All right. That is going to be
Okay.
it for Falcon and Winter Soldier. And next we are going to talk about is something different.
Ooh, don't sleep on this show, guys. Invincible.
Invincible episode 1. Now they have 3 out, but we are
Right.
going to talk about only the first one. So do you want to give a little background of what Invincible is without telling
Yeah.
much of the show? But, it started out as a comic, who
Yeah.
writes it, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Invincible is a comic debuting in the early 2000s. Can't remember the exact year, but created by Robert Kirkman. It's actually predates The Walking Dead. It's Kirkman's really his first, success. Although Invincible never attained Walking Dead level success, it was very popular though and lasted many years. And so yeah, Image comic published by Image Comics. So it's not Marvel or DC. It originally came out as kind of a new superhero push by Image after all the original Image guys had long been gone and took all their properties with them, minus Spawn and Savage Dragon. But they kind of had, Invincible came out with another one called Fire Breather and Venture and something called Noble Causes, and they were all superhero based, and they were kind of setting up a new superhero universe at Image. Unfortunately, really none of them really lasted at all or got too popular. Fire Breather a little bit, but Invincible had real staying power and lasted like, gosh, how many issues? I don't know if it lasted quite 200, but it was a lot.
Okay.
And there's a live action feature film in development, and
Really?
then yeah, Seth Rogen and his producing partner are producing it. There's no director though, and it's been taking forever. So they decided to do the animated series first,
Try to get some
and
popularity going, and then
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
okay.
it's one of the best superhero comics on the market. I can't recommend it highly enough. It's just one of the best ever.
I can say I'm finally reading it, and I decided to do that before watching all of this on. So I'm trying to go fast for the books,
Right.
and so far I've liked it. It took a little while to get going in the first so many that I've read,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean it's free right now. If you have Cosmicology, it's one of the ones that you can read right now, and I'm sure it's because it's on
Oh, can
Amazon
you
Prime.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's what
I've
I've been
got a
doing.
lot of my trades. Yeah. I've got a lot of the trades collected in one of my tubs, but it's like, oh man, the later ones are scattered. I wish I had them all together to reread the whole thing.
I don't know which one it is, but I just saw on news that the first one of Invincible sold for like an ungodly amount.
Yeah. It was like issue 1 went for like $2,500.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, for an obscure Image comic character that most people have never heard of.
Yeah,
That's pretty. But I mean, before we get into it, I think I haven't seen like streaming numbers, but it does seem to be talked about quite a bit online. Like there's a lot of positive reviews and a lot of people talking about it and
I
saying
agree.
positive things about it. So I'm hoping it keeps going with the popularity. I hope it's successful.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go right into the beginning of it, and the first thing I notice, not being I'm just starting to read this, so I don't really notice this, is all these characters at the beginning are like resemble
Oh
DC
yeah,
characters right away.
yeah, sure,
And
sure.
actually mix between some Marvel and DC. Like in my opinion, that's Wolverine and that's Batman, that's Flash, that's Wonder Woman, that's Martian Manhunter. You know,
Yeah, right,
that's Aquaman is the fish.
right.
Very
Oh,
easily
totally.
to say that's what these people are supposed to be.
Oh yeah, without question.
Was there any, do you think, ever flack that he was making them resemble them so closely?
Not at all, because it was like, as longtime comic readers, you read that like, I get what he's doing. He's not these characters, and we won't spoil it, but are meant to be. How should I say this without giving away the ending?
Let's
Let's just,
stop. We'll stop.
yeah, let's just say that they're meant for something, and that's why they're just archetypes. He's just giving you archetypes. So
Okay.
he's like, hey, here's your analog characters. They're going to serve a purpose, but yeah, are they JLA ripoffs? Yeah, we'll see. So
I like at the very beginning where the mother and the son are having this interaction, and the son is like, "Mom, I'm in the bathroom." And she's like, "Again?" You know, basically, you're a
right,
teenager. What are you doing in the
yeah,
bathroom? And he's like, "No, I promise, Mom. I'm just reading a comic."
right.
I thought that
And then
was
she
pretty funny.
barges in like, "Mom, get out of here! I changed your diapers. I've seen it all."
I've seen it all. I don't think. And then I love how the parents interact with each other and they're all romantic and, you know, kissing on each other and
Right.
saying, "We're going to go eat at Germany," or wherever they were going to go eat. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Can you all just ever do this in the privacy, your own privacy, instead of right in front of me
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time?"
Yeah.
If you remember, and I'm not going to say names, but our pastor said that you should do enough in front of your kids to make them embarrassed, but they also know what actual love and stuff is. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
reminds me of sort of that interaction to the
It's
extreme.
it's it's good. It's funny. I've embarrassed my kids like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. So what is the boy's name? You can go ahead and go there and say that kind of
Yeah,
stuff on.
Mark Grayson. He's a teenager, kind of, you know, kind of nerdy, I guess. I mean, he doesn't look nerdy. He looks like a cool kid, but in school he's kind of nerdy. Probably doesn't have a ton of friends. His own kind of awkward, quirky, what have you.
The
So you're
typical
kind of
Peter Parker.
typical Peter Parker. Yeah, yeah, yeah. See that this is, and I'll we won't go into spoilers, but this is what Robert Kirkman does so well. He gives you, generic stuff, and you're like, oh, visually this all looks really cool, or oh, I like his costume. He's just basically Spider-Man. Well, I mean, he subverts your expectations big time. So you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Okay, okay, this is
Yeah.
different. But you're right. Yeah, Mark Grayson, typical teenager. He knows his dad is the great hero, Omni-Man, who is
Yep.
the Superman analog of this little universe.
And at the same time, he is reminds you of a character in the Spider-Man universe.
Oh yeah, is it because he sounds just like somebody?
Yeah, because he is.
Yeah,
That's who he is.
yeah, it's J. Jonah Jameson, the great J.K. Simmons, who is doing a fabulous. He's always good, man. I love that actor.
I totally agree with that. Do you think they do that on purpose though, to where like even the hair and everything looks like?
Well, it's more of a happy coincidence,
Okay.
because basically, and we can get into this. He's a Viltrumite, like Superman's Kryptonian, and then the Viltrumites, though, their whole planet is super strong. They don't just become strong under a red sun. They're born all Supermen. They're all the strength level of Superman.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a running joke in the comic. They all look like Freddie Mercury. I mean, he's going for the Freddie Mercury mustache. So that's what that really is. It's just a happy coincidence. Like, oh, hey, we can get the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson, who also resembles my character, voice Omni-Man. How cool is that?
There are a few their home that they were showing, obviously looks like the Jetsons or something very futuristic.
Yeah, right.
And the background, from what I'm understanding, is each one of them can go to a different planet to help further them along. And
Right.
he wanted to go to Earth, but didn't they say no to him?
Yeah, I think they didn't want him to, but he went ahead and went to Earth. Like he really wanted to go, and so he did. And so then he says, Mark, I met your mom, and
Yeah.
I became a superhero to help the planet.
Yep. And now I think we can go ahead to basically the son does not have powers yet. Mark is saying that it's Mark, right? Is the father?
Nolan is the father, and Mark is the
Nolan's
son.
okay. So Nolan is saying that he will get his powers.
Yeah.
And Mark doesn't have his powers yet, and
Yeah, he's a late bloomer.
so he also told his dad that he threw the garbage up into space.
Yeah, he's kind of wondering, like, am I ever actually going to get powers? And then, he's trudging along, working at the food mart, burger mart or whatever, and he throws the trash bag into the trash barrel, and oh my gosh, he throws it into space. So it's like, well, I'm getting my powers.
Here they are.
There
And
they
then
go.
he wanted to go ahead and start trying to fly. And if this scene I thought was a great scene where he just steps off of the roof and all of a sudden he's just floating.
Yeah. This show has some of the best flying scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's animated, but they do a really good job of like making you feel how it is to fly. Really good job.
I also felt that they did a really good job of explaining it. Like when Nolan is explaining to Mark about you are basically walking your first time like a baby. So
Yeah.
you are so far behind that you don't understand, this, you're not going to be balanced. And nobody's ever explained that. You just basically, Superman just flew.
Yeah. I
mean, I
you
know
can
he
go...
always struggled a little bit. Like Iron Man struggled with the landing and all that kind of stuff too.
Right.
But it was never to the extent and detail that they were telling each other here.
Right. Yeah. He did struggle. Superman did. But yeah, this was like really going through the explanation that they did a good job. Then when he starts talking about, well, it's like peeing your pants. You don't pee your pants. You have to make yourself pee your pants. You're like, oh yeah, it's just like you constantly hold it in by. And I was like, wow, now that's a super cool explanation for that because, okay, all right, yeah, that's something you have to consciously let go of.
If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. No, I love that whole scene right there between the father and son on teaching
great
stuff. I also loved when he was like, go ahead and land, and nope, stops. Come on, slow down. And he big crater in the earth.
A big crater. And he's like, oh, I'm actually getting used to this. That's not good.
Yeah. But at the same time, out in the middle of nowhere, what are they going to do with this crater? Because somebody's going to look at it and say, hey.
Yeah, well, you just fly away far.
It's an alien.
They're probably in Asia. Who knows where they're at.
But then did you like the part where the father basically all of a sudden hit the son? I mean,
yeah,
Nolan just took him out.
A little bit. His training as a Viltrumite, a little bit like, oh, okay, maybe it's a little too much here. He's coming on a little strong. And yeah, Mark's definitely taken him back. Like, Dad, you hit me and it hurt. Like, you really hurt me.
Yeah.
And he'd say, well, if you're going to do what I do and be a hero, you're going to have to learn to take a punch.
Tough crap, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a little discipline in a disciplined way. And I mean, to the extent that we can't do that now, but
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, he did say I didn't mean to hit you that hard, but if you're gonna be a superhero, you
Better
got to
figure
learn
it
how
out.
to take a hit.
That's right. All right, so where do you want to go next? I like the part next where he went back to school and the big bully was um
Oh yeah,
going to try to mouth some more and he basically said, "Hit me."
yeah, that was pretty great. That you always do like to see that. Like, he doesn't go beat up the bully, but he's like, you're not gonna bully me anymore. So yeah, failed to mention that he got a little bullied at school too, and or he stood up for a girl and he got beat up. Now he's like, nope, you ain't gonna do that, and that was a good scene.
Yeah.
Hit me, hit me.
Hit me.
Oh, okay. Ain't
And then
doing
it
nothing
just kept
now.
getting stronger and stronger and all of a sudden he was hurting
Yeah,
his hand.
yeah, yeah.
Now, something that was, well, I don't know if I can answer that yet. I don't know if we're here. Um, he decides to go out on his own,
Hmm.
and he puts together some stupid ass costume, basically like Spider-Man would.
Right, right. Yeah,
And who is the dude that he's fighting? Do they even say?
yeah. No, his name's Titan.
Okay.
He's a criminal, kind of like just a low level criminal. Sometimes he's actually a little good, but that's actually voiced. And what's cool about Amazon is you can pause it and
Mm-hmm.
it'll say, "Oh, look, this is Marshala Ali.
Yeah,
He's voicing a character called Titan."
that's pretty cool.
So I mean, you get an actor of that caliber and he has like two lines. I was like, okay, he's definitely going to be coming back.
That's pretty cool. And I just think the whole thing is done very well just from the beginning. And then the dad sees that he was fighting crime and now questions him and then
Yeah,
for some reason decides to not punish him but give him something.
yeah. He's like, okay, son, you know, let's get you a proper costume. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, this isn't working for you.
Yeah. So this is cool. He goes into basically a tailor. And it's like, oh, you're not just a junky store. You have a whole basement where you make superhero costumes. Wow. So,
For everybody.
mm-hmm. He's the go-to guy.
And by the way, I am so glad that they didn't pick that costume
Yeah.
at first. That's horrible looking.
Well, that actually gets used later. It's not really that bad. I don't know if they'll do it, but there's a character called Bulletproof who takes that costume later in the series. So we'll see if it actually happens in the
Really?
in the in the show. Yeah.
Well, they're also asking, we need inspiration and we need to know your name. What are you going to
Right.
call yourself?
Right. It's like, oh, I want something iconic. And I was like, well, that's what they all want. So
I think that's awesome too.
yeah.
But, and now you can tell me if I'm wrong. Um, they give a on how he got his name is different in the comic than it was in this series, episode
Okay.
1.
Yeah.
From what I read, and I might be totally wrong, when he in the comic got it, he was in the principal's office and they were talking about that he was taking on the big bully. And the principal says, "Hey, you are not invincible." And then that
Yeah.
was where he clicked that he wanted to be called Invincible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why
So
do
they
you think
changed
they
that a little
changed
bit.
that?
I don't know. It's just a matter of however they plotted it. Maybe they thought it was maybe they thought it coming from his dad meant a little more like, oh, son, you really are invincible.
Mm.
Oh,
Ding, ding,
there it
ding.
is. Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner.
Did you like, me being a baseball guy, did you like how they were playing pitch and catch and basically the baseball was going around the earth?
Oh, that was great. Like, hey, that's a big thing. Play pitch and catch with your dad.
Yep.
And, yeah, we're going to play pitch and catch and throw the ball completely around the world. I thought that was great.
That's amazing. What else do you want to talk to before we go to the big one?
Well, it's just cool. He They show that
Oh, we
great
can get the
flying
costume.
scene.
Yeah, for sure. Let's
Yeah,
get the
he's
costume.
debuting his costume, which I think I've read a lot of comics in my day. I've seen a lot of designs. That is a that is to me a iconic laid out costume.
You
It's
like it.
simple. I love it. I love how they have the eye. It looks stylish. I'm just like, damn, that's a good costume. I've always thought that. I was like, that's just a freaking great look, man.
And it
It's
is
simple.
it's
It's not
like really
overdone.
plain. I mean, and I don't mean that bad.
Yeah. It's like, okay, look at some of the greats, like Captain America. Really, it's not complicated. Superman. It's not a complicated suit.
True. Batman's
Batman,
not
not
really complicated.
no, other than the cowl. Now, Spider-Man is one of the all-time greats, and you could say, well, it's a little complicated with all the webbing. But again, to me, I just think this is a really great design. I always have.
It's a lot of different colors. Like I would never go with black and that color blue and yellow all together, but it looks good. And I
Yeah,
love what they said about the goggles and the reason for the goggles too.
right, right. Yeah, it's like, hey, I cover my eyes a little bit.
I mean, it only makes sense.
So he gets in a little skirmish here. I believe he comes out on top.
I just love this flying scene that he's going down. Looks really cool in that costume.
Yeah,
Man.
they do a great job with this. So I just couldn't be more impressed with the show.
Okay, so who is this villain that he's coming up to fight against here?
Oh gosh. I mean,
I have no idea. I
yeah,
haven't got that far yet.
he's not he that's the one cool thing about Kirkman too. He throws a lot of, hey, here's generic villain A, like he's just there. He's
It's
just
just
a
a
villain.
villain. Okay.
Yeah. Armblast. What the heck was his name? Again, when you watch the show, if you pause it on Amazon, like, oh, okay, that's
Oh,
so
here
voicing.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Kill Cannon.
Kill Cannon. That's it. Kill Cannon. We may never see him again.
Interesting. But yeah, he totally beat the crap out of him for the first person that he was doing.
Yeah.
All right. Then you're thinking this is almost wrapping up. Credits are
like,
rolling.
okay, here comes the credits. Oh, wait, whoa, what? Hold on.
You are definitely gonna have to explain this to me. Like at first, it starts with Red Rush,
right,
and this girl, and then it gets worse with the bad guys and Biplane and the Immortal. See, now I'm cheating on Amazon that you told me I could do that.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
And now we're in a warehouse, or now we go. All of them's getting called, and they're basically, I want to call it the Batcave, but that's not what it is.
Well, it's the old Justice League cave that their original headquarters way back in the 60s was a cave in Rhode Island. So this is reminiscent of a mount. Well, it's a mountain, but it's still
right.
But what I like what they did here is they're saying, oh, they're giving you they're spending real time with these guys. So you're starting to get to know the Guardians of the Globe, which that's who they are.
Okay.
Wow. So you actually get to see Red Rush and his girlfriend, and you get to see how Darkwing interacts and we get to see what the Green Ghost does for a living, and that Martian Man has a friend, and it's like, oh, we're really getting to know these characters. So you're really setting them up for something cool.
And Aquarius is in there like nothing's going on. I'm so bored.
He's in the ocean, hanging out on his throne, doing nothing.
So now I am at the picture where they're all around, and Omni-Man is at the top, and it just gets very different very fast.
Okay, yeah. So they all get there. Boom. They're like, hey, no one called this? We thought you did, Darkwing. You're the last to... Nope. Oh, something's up. Well, pretty quick, Red Rush goes over and shoves... who does he shove out of the way? Is it Mortal?
Yeah.
shoves the Immortal out of the way because Omni-Man is there and almost takes the Immortal's head clean off. And what the crap? Omni-Man, Mark's dad, who we've gotten to like really like. He seems like a wonderful dad, loving dad, loves his son, loves his wife. Seems like the perfect guy and is the greatest hero on the planet.
Yeah.
And it goes dark real quick.
And like dark, almost darker than any superhero movie I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. And the comic is bloody. Bloody. The battles, the ripping, tearing of bodies, it only gets more intense as the comic goes on.
He is grabbing right now what I have up here. He's grabbing Red Rush and just squeezing his head.
Oh yeah, and this all happens a matter of like milliseconds, and it's like, wow, Red Rush knows he's dead, but he's trying to utilizing his speed, and it looks like it's doing a lot of damage to
Well,
Omni-Man.
yeah, like his whole chest is turning red, and
Yeah, but then he's pounding against his chest, and his hands are broken. He's done, and boom, his head pops like a grape.
oh my god.
And it only gets some more brutal.
I just don't get. I mean, I
So
wasn't expecting this because I'm not this far into the comic yet.
okay, yeah, and I can't remember when exactly this happened. It's been a few years since I've actually read the comic.
Holy crap, that blood is everywhere after he squishes his head.
Oh my
I
gosh!
squash your head.
So who is it that bites it next? Is it Green Ghost or is it Darkwing?
Let me look. They're all in shock. So,
I wanted to say it was Darkwing.
the Immortal, no. Who's the one that's
No.
like can change basically like Elastic Man?
No,
And-
Martian Man doesn't bite it yet either.
No, he
tries to stop
wraps
him.
up around him.
Okay.
So they're all basically beating him right now, and then he rips Martian Man off.
Yes.
And
yeah.
now it's War Woman.
Well, he
going
fights
against
her,
him.
and he smacks her down into the ground.
Yep. And then, man, this is brutal.
Oh yeah.
And now, is it Dark Man? What is it
Okay,
called?
yeah, Darkwing.
Darkwing tries to help her and then jumps on top of him, and it's over.
Now
it reminds me of Hulk Smash, but way more violent than what he did to Loki.
So he smashes Darkwing. Right, he takes him by the legs, smashes him on the ground. He's pretty much almost dead.
Oh, he's got to be dead. On the second smash, he had no head left.
He smashes him down one time, takes him back, smashes him down again, and his body just explodes.
Yeah, and if you could see the picture after the second one, so half of his head's gone, but his leg, where he's holding his leg, is just so broke. It's just flimsy.
Now his funny thing is like there's a bunch of memes on the internet that say Batman versus Superman, how it would have really went down.
I agree. Oh, and then who's next is Green Ghost.
Oh my gosh. She says, "Oh no." And boom, his hand goes through her face. Oh my gosh.
I'm stopping that at the perfect time, by the way. And he just throws he throws first, and I'm going to say it wrong, but Darkwing, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Throws first and she catches him, and then it's just right
through
the bullseye.
Yeah, because he knows like, oh, she's gonna instinctively catch him, so she becomes tangible, and then bam, dead.
Now Aquarius is trying to do something, and he's just blocking the water with Green Ghost.
With her body, yeah.
And so
she's
now
flapping around like a rag doll.
Now Immortal and War Woman are trying to figure out a plan.
Yeah.
A strategy, like something's wrong. Obviously.
Like he's,
No shit.
they're like, oh, he'd never do this. He has to be under mind control. Like, well, it doesn't matter. It's him or us. Well, I choose us. Boom.
And War Woman got him once. And
Yeah,
then and
yeah. The
then
Immortal and War Woman are probably, Superman. I don't know if he's. I guess more of a. He's not really an analog of anyone. Maybe Shazam. So it's kind of like Shazam and Wonder Woman are taking on Superman.
see, and I was
So
thinking Wolverine for some reason. That's what he looked like.
yeah, the hair, but probably a bit of both.
But
Because
he grabbed War Woman's staff or whatever it is and just
just crushes Aquarius.
yes, like bad.
Oh, his brains go everywhere. It's gross.
The blood. I mean, this is what I understand that you like it, and I understand why my kids can't watch it. Whoa. Like, I'm watching the first part of the episode, thinking no big deal, my kids could watch this. And then it jumps to the ending here after the end credit. Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
So then was it Martian Man tries to wrap him up again, and then he finds the floating eye or brain that is what is him, and
Yep.
rips that out. So Martian Man's dead.
Immortal got him a couple times, and so did War Woman with Martian Man around him. And he actually goes to his knees.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I think they're gonna take him.
Yeah. And then he grabs that freaking eye and just rips it. And then his next hit is in the Immortal, and doesn't he go all the way through?
Yeah, he does. He jabs through his lower chest, so he's kind of just hanging on to whatever life.
And then
He goes,
this is awesome. She's coming at him. War Woman's coming at him from the air, and then you can explain it.
well, what does he do? He just grabs her by the head.
That's how he catches her.
Yeah, grabs her by the head. Done. And then she has one little. Her head's completely turned around. She coughs up blood, falls over dead.
Yep.
And then the Immortal's on the ground, dying. He comes over, takes his hand, whoosh, beheads him. Dunzo. And then he collapses because he's got beat up pretty bad too. I mean,
yeah, I mean, oh heck yeah, just what Red Rush did to him, besides what all the others did. I mean, that had to take some out of him. So
this is very
what
much
is
like,
going on?
Well, I know exactly what's going on, but I don't want to spoil it. Yeah.
I mean, this is deep.
Oh, it's hard. I shouldn't even say. It gets so good. This is what changes everything about the comic, because up until this point, you're like, oh, this is a nice teenage Spider-Man meets Superman type comic. Oh, look at all the JLA archetypes and generic heroes, and the color's good, the art's really good, blah, blah, blah. Oh, whoa. Say what now? So, yeah.
I got to start reading more of it, because I wasn't to that part in the comic, and then I watched that, and I was like, holy crap. So I definitely want to watch now more of that.
Yeah. The next 2 episodes are really good. They introduce a ton more characters.
But are they all get squashed like that really quick?
No, there's several of the characters they introduce are at least in the comics, they're there to stay or for a while. Big time players in the comic going forward. So
here's a question for you. As gory as that was, and as a different thought process of what it was, it reminded me of The Boys.
Yes.
Is it going to go that direction? Because I sort of like The Boys, and I like the thought of different thought process of what superheroes are. But at the same time, I didn't way enjoy The Boys.
Right. I know. It's almost like they went they went too deconstructionist on the superhero thing and the boys. It's like, basically, and they kind of say it, it's like, oh, the superheroes suck. They're all
Yeah,
evil.
yeah.
No, Invincible does not. There's still real heroes in the show,
Okay.
real superhero goodness. It's just the tweaks that he takes with it is so genius, and that make it so good.
Okay.
And he does a really good job of humanizing the characters. Like, you really become fans of them and like, oh man, I hope they stay together or hope whatever, blah blah blah. You know, it's like almost soap opera like, but in a good way.
Is there going to be more episodes this week, or is it these three and then they're going to wait, or?
Yes. Okay. So there's only 8 episodes a season. So for the next 5 weeks, yeah, we'll get an episode.
Okay. So it's sort of like WandaVision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Amazon seems to do that. I think they did that with the Boys. Like, Boys has usually 8, maybe 9 episodes, and they typically put out the first 2 or 3, and then they go boom, boom, boom until it's over. So,
Okay.
and I liked how each of these episodes is a good 45 minutes, which
Yeah.
is kind of nice instead of just like a 20-minute episode, which is, again, my one complaint about WandaVision is like, come on, man, this is too short.
It was way too short. When the credits and the opening scene are almost as long as your whole show, that's too short.
Right. Yeah.
At least Falcon and Winter Soldier's different.
Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier is a good solid length of a show. So I don't have any complaints on that. But
Could
this
you?
show, don't sleep on it. I mean, I can't recommend it highly enough. The next episodes get even better.
Okay.
Really, really cool stuff. And you know, if you've read the book like me, you're like, oh hey, there's so and so. Oh hey, they got so and so here. Oh cool. And you don't have to worry about a budget because it's like, yeah, we can throw this character and this action scene, and
Yeah.
you know,
They don't care at all. It's
no,
animated.
yeah.
All right, so we'll looking forward to watching the next two for me.
Yep.
But I'm honestly looking forward, I think, more to reading the comic. So I'm very torn of what way I want to go first, if that makes any sense.
I know. I think I'm gonna go dig out my volume 1 compendium, and kind of start looking through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the series is complete now. It is over, and I remember being really sad. Like, oh man, it's kind of like when Supernatural ended for me. I loved that show, 15 years, and then Invincible went a long time, but it was a good complete story. Like, man, that was like a lot of years, but this is this solid beginning, solid ending. It's really great.
That's great.
So,
all right, anything else before we end?
I think that's it, guys. A lot of cool content. Oh, one last thing.
Oh.
Godzilla versus Kong. Amazing. Go watch it.
And one last thing, since our name is Defenders of Comics and this is what
Oh
we
yes.
do.
How could we forget this? Oh my gosh. We got to make a big deal about this.
I got
Crowdfunded
it yesterday. First Man by Andy Smith. I haven't opened it yet. He's got some stuff on the backside too. I'm looking really forward to reading this. And it's how many pages is it? Is it 60?
I think so. I mean, it's a solid length book. It's like a prestige, format comic. It's really well done. That's what you get with these crowdfunded books. They might cost you $20, but they're worth it.
And it's from Astonishing Comics. Is that just his?
That's just his, yeah. From what I understand, that's Andy's little.
Why don't you give some background
label.
about who Andy Smith is?
Well, Andy Smith is an artist that was, big in the late 80s and then the 90s wave of image style artists. So he did a lot of tutelage under Bart Sears, who was kind of a megastar for a while. And their art is very similar at times, and I've got a pretty good eye for, like, oh, that's so and so, oh, that's so and so. I mean, sometimes theirs is pretty close. But Andy's a great artist on his own, and he did. The first time I remember seeing his art was in an issue of Quasar back in the 80s under Marvel. And then I think he did some work with CrossGen Comics and has drawn a lot of stuff for Image. So He's a really great artist, and he actually produced one issue of First Man, probably back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And there's only the first issue, and he redid the first issue and added a bunch more to it, and I think he's got plans to do more. So,
Awesome. And I want to get
yep.
more into that, being what we are. I want to try to get out there and give more
Mhm.
credit to Indiegogo type of comic book writers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we want to keep doing that. And I guess we can give an update on one of our previous podcasts where we talked about a lot of those. If anyone wants to skim through it, we talked about several, and they're all funded, minus one of them. So I think it's Raptor still needing some funding dollars, but all the other ones are funded and will be coming out in the next few months. So
Awesome. All right, that is it for Defenders of Comics this week. Next week, I'm sure we'll be talking about Invincible. We'll be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Godzilla.
probably Godzilla, man. We got to talk about that because it was epic.
Go Team Kong.
Go Team Godzilla.
Uh,
Boom.
oh, that's not fair. All right.
Yeah, yeah.